Hello, active and attractive ladies. How are you guys feeling today? Welcome to another Thursday here inside of the active and attractive community. For those of you guys who are new, and I know we've got a lot of new, beautiful women inside of this group. Ladies, if you're new, welcome to our Facebook Lives. Every Thursday, Lisa's here. Every Thursday, we run a Facebook Live series where we dive into the depths of what it looks like to be the healthiest version of you as a female leader. Hello, Lisa. I saw you change the cover photo of Girl Strong. Guys, if you haven't heard of Lisa, she's just a really powerful woman who works with a clothing company that she created called Girl Strong. And her community is all about women leading in their leadership and being strong while they're doing it. And she's got incredible athleisure style clothing that represents the message. And I just wanted to shout you out, Lisa, because we were just in conversation. Like, ladies, there's so many great things that I believe that we can build on this planet. And so for those of you guys who've been with me for a while, you guys know all about what world building is. And some of you guys might be newer to this conversation. The hard thing about world building that I found is that it's difficult to describe world building in one sentence. There's just a lot. There's a lot of pieces. There's a lot of moving parts. But the reason is because you as a leader are complicated. You've got a lot of elements to you. You've got a lot of dreams and ambitions. You've got a lot of roadblocks and stories that you've encountered over your life. What we want to achieve is that when you pursue what it is that's next for you, that you pursue it from a place that is healthy, happy, whole, and strong, so that you can lead yourself forward in a way that does not let you quit. We don't want you to stop along your path. And what we definitely don't want is that your body feels the brunt of all of the effort that you're putting into your future. Now, the thing about your body, ladies, is that your body is designed to support you. And this is something we're going to talk about a lot today. Your body is designed to support you, and your body's number one mission is that it makes sure that you're taken care of along your path. But a lot of times, depending on our relationship that we've developed with our physique, we might not find that we have the best feeling of support from our body. And so one of the things that I do as a health coach is I talk to people more than just about macronutrients, more than just about what you're supposed to do in your exercise. But I talk about who it is that you are within, because when you know who you are, you know what you're building in your physique. You know why it matters to you. You know what it is that you want next. And when you're aware of what you want next, so beautiful about your body is that it's so loyal to you, that it'll follow you wherever you want to go. So we're going to talk about health today, ladies. And if you've been tuning in, the month of January is all about health. So what I would love is that you're here live. Just go ahead and comment down below. Let me know that you're here live. If you're catching the replay, do the same. Comment down below and let me know that you're catching the replay. And we're going to continue the conversation that we started last Thursday around health. So I'm going to drink some water for now, and then we're going to get started. So ladies, let's do this thing. So what we've been doing over the last week and a half is twofold. There's a lot of moving bits, as you guys know, around what it means to be an active and attractive woman, what it means to be a healthy feminine leader. And the purpose of talking about all of these bits is that I know that the women in this community, I know that you desire more in your life. I know that you want to create a solution. You might want to write a book, start a podcast. You want to see problems get solved in your community or in your family. You want to live your life to the fullest. You want to see that whatever it is that you think and dream up, that it can get created, and not only just be created for you to experience, but it also brings more happiness, more joy, more satisfaction, more peace, more rest to those people around you. So when we look at you as a visionary and we look at you as a leader, what our goal is that we want you to be able to fulfill on your dreams. Because if we believe that what you feel called to in your heart is true, that it's real and that it's correct, the only thing we need to be focused on is making sure you get there. We want to make sure you get that. And we want to make sure that you execute on that vision. Kim made it. Hello. We want to make sure that you execute on that vision, because when you can build it, you're going to change the world. Now, whether or not you identify as a world changer, what we want to make sure is that even if you don't change hundreds, thousands, millions of people's lives, we want to make sure that you remember that you are one person in this world. And if you take the time to change your world, what happens is everywhere you go, every person you interact with, every time you're asked a question, every time you're asked about your story, every time you're asked for advice, and you give it, and you share, and you show up, when you give the gift of who you are, you naturally create a ripple effect. So this is how powerful focusing on you gets to be. And then when we take it this even further and we apply your gifts, your ability to listen, your creativity, your art style, your ability to do databases, your networking and capacity for relationships, the way that you hold and carry other people, the way you create technological ideas, whatever your gift is, when your world is whole and you feel full, and then you give your gifts to the world, the solutions you have to bring, you're going to see that the world around you is going to transform exponentially. So it's important for us to not only know who you are and your identity, but we want to make sure you know it so well that you care enough to take care of that. What I've seen for a lot, oh, hola, I love that, hola. Kim, randomly, this is for Kim. Kim, randomly, I started learning Portuguese maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, very loosely. And so when I see that, I'm like, I know what that means. So ladies, like the thing that we want to pay attention to is you, because when you're in your zone, when you're in your mode, when you are just feeling alive, no one can stop you. And what we want to make sure is that every aspect of your world is set up in a way that it supports you so that your home, your body, your relationships, and the back end of your business have such a structure that it fills you up. You feel alive. You feel ready to connect with others. You want to go rest in your home. You want to invite people over to your home. You've got energy for days. You love eating healthy. You're working out. You're running your business. You have a team. You've got back end support. You feel so supported that it doesn't matter what's going on around you or what obstacles you face on the day to day. When you're supported, you're ready for it. And not even the biggest obstacle will stop you. Kim says, oh, awesome. You can talk with me and come to, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. That sounds like so much fun. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I like the language of Portuguese because I love Spanish. Spanish is my favorite. And then Portuguese is very similar. So, it's so cool, Kim. So ladies, this is the preface that we're looking at when it comes to you, because when we're paying attention to you like you matter, I have to ask the question, how can we steward you? How can we take care of you? How can we make sure you're showing up to your fullest capacity and never diminishing, never slowing down, never holding back, never hiding? In order to establish a strong foundation on this is where it turns into, who are you in your identity? And what is your willingness to care for that? Your health. Who are you in your identity? And where is your willingness? How hard are you willing to take care of the preciousness that's you? I have found with my clients who are successful in their health that they're only successful because they actually know who they are. They know that they're a mother and that they have to be available for their kids. They know that they have a spouse, they're a wife, there's somebody who knows that their spouse leans on them in certain ways. It requires patience, it requires insight, it requires visionary capacities. They have to be on their P's and Q's in order to serve and show up to the people that matter to them the most. They know that they're a business owner, that they're running a 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure business. And that if they are not at their fullest capacity, they can't provide the gifts that are available for their employees, for their clients, and beyond. When you know who you are, health matters. Because when you take care of yourself, what happens is you begin to radiate in such a way that you magnetize more to you. Opportunities, more clients, more money, more ideas, more success stories, more results. When you're on your game and you care enough about who you are to take care of yourself, you end up finding that life starts to feel a little bit easier, and it's much quicker to access happiness, joy, clarity, creativity, visibility, and so much more. So ladies, what we're talking about right now, if you're new, what we've been doing is over the last month, so December, we were starting to open up the dialogue around identity. As a health coach, the one way that I'm going to be able to get to you the best is that if I set a frame that identity is important. If we just started talking about health, we would have to hope that you understood yourself in a way that mattered to you. Yolanda, hey girl. We have to set your identity up in a way where you matter to you, because if I start telling you how to exercise, what to eat, where to go, what to do, when to sleep, how much, if you haven't valued yourself enough, you just pressing start is not going to take you there. It's kind of like in a relationship, a long-term relationship. As much as we want to say love is the answer, love isn't always enough. It's not to discredit love, but it's to say that there's more to it than just saying, I love you. There's skills, there's elements, there's trials, there's tribulations. We've got to overcome so much more. And if there is not a strong identity in a relationship, it's so easy to just break up and say, you know what? This isn't for me. When you know who you are, when you've identified value, you define it as precious, and you want to take care of that. Brandy, hello. Good afternoon, Samantha. I hope I see you tonight, Yolanda. That would be fantastic. So ladies, your value comes down to your awareness of yourself. And so we're going to spend much, much more time talking about identity. For those of you guys who did this week, the 3 days of world building with me, you guys have hello, lovely. You guys have a very clear picture of what your world looks like. And this is the container for your identity. So if you haven't done identity work with me yet, there's a lot to do. Even those of you guys in 3 days of world building, I have a few other activities that really solidify other aspects of yourself that help you feel solid in your essence, feel solid in who you are. And we're going to do all of that here inside of this group. But for right now, if you've been curious about what does it mean to have an identity? Is that one word? Is it something that I stand for? Is it, what is that? I would highly suggest you come and join us inside of the 3 days of world building. It's a free masterclass that we're running right now, and it's going to remain open until Monday. So what we're doing, yes, I will be there. Perfect. All right, girl, I'm going to give you a big old hug. What we're doing inside of that class, or what we're doing inside of the event, is that we define your world, and it's something that you can walk away with. It's something that you want to honor and protect. But even more so, what it leaves you with is a place to be able to make decisions from. A place to be able to say, this is who I am, and anything else is not me. So I'm not going to engage in anything that doesn't look like me, doesn't feel like me, doesn't act like me. If it's something different than me, it means it's someone else. And that's the other person's responsibility to own, honor, and show up as. And so if every one of us owns and honors what's in our world, what we do is we get to bring that gift forward to the rest of the world, provide our value while staying in our lane and feeling strong and confident in what it is that we bring to the table. So 3 days of world building is that experience, and I'm going to comment that down here in the link in the comments after the video is over. But the reason I'm setting a strong context for identity is because this month in January, we're moving into the realm of health. When you partner your identity and your health together, what you get is the first pillar of leadership. This is your presence. Your presence is the aura that radiates around you. It's that thing, that film, that light that's around you, that when you walk up to a group of people, they're like, ooh, who's that? You walk by a stranger on the street and they feel something, even though you only made eye contact. It's the thing that draws people in, and it almost feels like you're speaking before your mouth is ever opened. Your aura is all of your stories, your beliefs, your philosophies, what it is that you stand for, and the gifts that you offer. But it's so predominant in your presence that when you step into a room, you can shift an atmosphere just like that. Strong leaders are people who change circumstances and create transformation. And it might only impact one person, but when our aura is big enough, strong enough, loud enough, and speaks for us, we can change the room before we even do anything. So what we want is that your aura is big. But what happens is in certain situations, our aura will shrink. It'll get really small. It's that feeling in your body when you're just like, I don't know. This is where the lack of confidence starts showing up, the doubt, the stuttering over our words, the people ask us who we are, and we get really small and quaint about what we have to say about ourselves. When you have a strong presence, you know who you are, you're able to state it clearly, and when you share that message, you can do it everywhere you go. When you have the capacity to do this, you've owned the second pillar of leadership, which is visibility. But we're going to talk about that in a few more months. Right now, what we want to do is we want to make sure that in order to light your presence up, if identity and health partner together, we have your identity now. And what we want to do is we want to access more of your health. So yet last week we talked about, well, what is health? What is health? Health is your ability to know what it is that you want and go after it. I'm going to ask you ladies down here below, what is it that you want? I'm talking about anything. Just drop a couple of things down below that pop up at the top of your head. What is it that you want right now in this season in your life? It could be a person, it could be to go somewhere, it could be a thing, it could be an idea, it could be a feeling. What is something that you want? I'm going to show you guys how health is bigger than just the body, but the main thing we're going to be talking about today is the body. Let's see what you guys are wanting right now in your life. I can tell you right now, you guys have probably heard this story 100 times, but I lived a very unhealthy life because I didn't know what I wanted. People would ask me, I'd go on dates, I'd have interviews, I would have opportunities to talk about myself, and I would always pivot the conversation back around on the other person and ask them what they're interested, what did they like, what did they want, because I didn't really know how to express what it is that I want. Because I didn't know. I didn't know what it was that I actually wanted. I'd be on dates and people would say, like, what are you interested? What do you do in your free time? And I was like, I work. But the reason that was because at work, I was able to focus on my clients. I was able to focus on their desires, help build their dreams, their goals, and what it is that they want. Kim says, I want to start my business. Yes. Kim, what is your business? I would love to hear, what is your business? Like, I didn't know what I wanted. And because I didn't know what I wanted, I would grasp at other people's desires and try to involve myself with that instead. I was the friend that if you needed to call me at 3 a.m. in the morning, I was going to be there. I had friends that went through some divorces and I was right there. I felt like I was going through a divorce. I was the friend who if a friend was just in tears or she wanted to go out and have fun, I would say, okay, yep, let's do it. I never knew what I wanted. And so I'd find myself, although I would have a great time, I'd build great relationships, I'd find myself in very exhausted states because I didn't have a clue about what I wanted. So those things that were deep within me never got experienced by me. I was only as good as the people around me. And it was because I didn't know what I wanted. So Brandy says freedom and stretching far beyond my comfort zone. Yes, those are the things that we want. Now, here's how this looks in the opposite context of unhealthy. A lot of us say, oh, I know what I want, but our actions don't align with that. We might say, I want to start my business, right? I want to start my business. I want to start my business. There's a healthy gap of knowing that you want something and giving yourself time to build up into that. But there's millions of people out there right now who want to start a business, but for years and years and years, they continue to work for someone else. They don't ever start. They let other things distract them. They put other things in front of what it is that they want. The problem with this is that when we're not tuning in and leading ourselves towards what it is that we want, our body holds that. Our body can feel it. It's that stress and anxiety that comes up when people talk to you about their dreams. It's that stress and anxiety that comes up when people ask, hey, have you ever thought about having a business? It's that stress and anxiety that happens when people say, hey, you have that cool idea, but how are you going to do it? And you don't have the answer yet. It's the stress and anxiety that keeps you up at night when you know you want something, but you can't quite let yourself have it yet. That state in between knowing what you want and letting yourself have what you want, that's the gap of disease. It's that uneasiness that I'm not even moving. And there's a moment in time where we're just not supposed to know yet. But then there's this feeling of like, I feel like this is prolonged, like I should be moving in that direction, and I'm not. This is where most of us start to experience health habits that represent that, and this is what we're going to talk about today. Brandy says freedom and stretching far beyond my comfort zone. It's like anything that makes Brandy feel restricted should not be allowed in her life. What's healthy for Brandy is a sense of freedom. But I know a lot of people, I can name about 5 people off the top of my head right now, who their sense of freedom comes from being told exactly what to do and staying in a very, very tight and specific lane. It gives them comfort, safety, stability, and direction. And so when they're able to follow a plan, whether it's working for a company, whether it's working underneath a boss, whether it's whatever it is, their freedom comes from that sense of stability so they can go and mind the details and make things happen. Everyone's relationship with freedom is different, but the idea is that you don't ever want to be confined to someone else's rendition. Yolanda says, I want to be healthy in my mind and in my body. Definitely would like to get out of my comfort zone. Anything right now, Yolanda, that feels like your comfort zone. And these are all tall orders, ladies. I'm not speaking small here. Anything that feels like it's in your comfort zone in this season right now, it's unhealthy. Now, what's scary is doing it. It's going to freak you out. It's going to freak us out. But if our will, our heart, our soul, our spirit is calling for getting out of the comfort zone, it requires, in order to break that feeling, to do it. To start the business, to make eye contact, to say hello first, to drop your phone number, to clean that closet, to start the walk, to add in the healthy food. When we know what it is that we want, if we don't do it, that's where the unhealthiness sets in. This is the hardest part, but it's also the healthiest. Now, ladies, there's a big theme I want to teach today. I want to talk to you about today. It's called You Are Not Your Body. You are not your body. You're not. Your body holds you. Yep, Randy says. Just start. That's how it begins. Guys, the scariest things I've ever done was starting. And there's even a phase in there of keep going. It's terrifying. It's awful. It feels painful. But when I know what I want, what trickles in is a requirement of faith, a trust in myself, a willingness to go beyond. And what I can guarantee you that allowed me to go beyond my beyond is going back to my world and making sure my 4 quadrants were set up to support me, secure me, and give me what it is that I need. because the beyond is scary. It's like floating in outer space. But when you know your home is you, your relationships have got you, your body has got you, the back end of your business has got you, what it takes to even build that requires self-follow-through. It requires self-trust. By the time you build your world, you're going to feel so comfortable in trying to go beyond that starting your business isn't going to feel as bad. Having freedom and getting outside of your comfort zone is not going to feel as bad, because at least you know you can come back to your comfort zone because you just made it posh. What we're looking at is that when we talk about your actions, the actions you take inside or outside of the gym, we want to make sure that you're the type of woman that follows her desires. Not from vanity, not from selfishness. It's that the desires in your heart were placed for you to follow. They're your blueprint. And if you're doing anything else, you probably peeked on someone else's paper to see their blueprint. And you're drawing the wrong thing. So what we want to do is we want to recognize, ladies, you are the captain of this ship. When we talk about health in your body, the way our brain, our neurological chemicals, our neurological system, the way all of it is set up is if you feel in your body, chemically, it creates a response. Systemically, in your brain, it lays down pathways of truth. And your body experiences something that when the stress button is pressed often enough, uneasiness happens. And then when we press our hand on this big red button of stress and we hold it there, because we've made a way of life out of it. We've made the stress almost like it's our identity. When we hold ourselves down in that way, our body stays here. We get inflammation. We get tension in our neck and our jaw. Our blood sugar levels go up. Our cortisol levels go up. Our muscles, our metabolism, none of it can relax. We can't fully rest and digest. We develop gut issues. We end up experiencing a whole smorgasbord full of conditions that are purely edged on the stress response. And our body says, oh, this is what we're going to do? I've got your back. Let me calibrate all of this. Let me try to organize all of this. And what happens is our body stays busy fighting a war for us. Your body loves you that much. So what happens over the span of months, years, decades, is that the constant pressure creates habits, it creates conditions, and it creates a visual representation of what it is that we've been thinking, feeling, and doing. It's a very hard truth to realize, because in order to really let this settle in, it requires some self-responsibility. But the silver lining, ladies, is that if you're this powerful at thinking thoughts that were never yours to be thinking, you can become good at thinking thoughts you were always meant to think. Your identity is your North Star. Thoughts outside of your identity create dissonance in your body. And if you don't like the way your body looks, If you don't like the way your body feels, if you don't like its current condition, I can promise you, the science will show you. If you start to find ways to create habits that shift the way you interact with your physique, you can transform as far as you want to create your body to be. Changing the way your body looks, the way your body feels, and the way your body functions is so possible. But ladies, when I tell you about 20% of that is action and 80% is about the way you see yourself. For those of you guys who have a book stuck inside of you, most likely you're dealing with digestion issues. You deal with clouded mind, clouded brain, foggy brain fog. There we go. You deal with restless night, probably tension in your throat, in your cheeks, and your grip here in your jaw. Most likely those things are a representation of the backed up elements, the backed up ideas that are dormant within you. If you know you need to have a hard conversation to heal or speak your mind in a relationship, you probably deal with all of the same things. Not expressing yourself backs itself up in your body. And what happens is your body thinks that it's dealing with something in that moment. But when we can get your actions in your life to a place where you're looking and saying, I really do have that. I just need to get this book out. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know who it's going to impact, but I just need to do it. I can promise you, you're going to see a shift in the way that you go and stare in the refrigerator and say, what can I eat right now? Ladies, I'm able to share all of this with you because I myself have experienced the exact same thing. Whenever I found myself sitting around on the couch emotionally eating, it's because I'm avoiding doing something that I know is going to be a big, big deal for the rest of my life. It's like I'm eating to throw the emergency brake on, put myself into a food coma so that I actually don't have to take responsibility, and then I can blame it on a full stomach, or that I'm just too tired right now. But if I worked my way through those emotions and avoided that habit, not only would I avoid inflammation, a food baby, and a little bit of extra weight gain, I would have the next level of me that's on the other side of that big girl action. You are not your body, meaning you are you. You are creative, you are bold, you are smart, you are powerful, you are vocal, you are directed, you are innovative, you are kind, you are compassionate, you are so incredible. That is who you are. And the journey of being a human is just a little bit harder than that. So my question isn't, how much food are you eating? How many hours of sleep are you getting? Because if you were in your world, if you were the happiest, lightest, easiest version of you, what it would default to is you would be going to bed on time whenever your body felt like it. You would be eating the foods that your body was craving. You'd be doing the type of activity and exercise that you wanted to do. Your schedule would look the way you would want it to look. You would speak your mind the way you wanted to speak your mind. You would be running business the way you want to do business. You would be doing everything in your style the way you want it to do, because in your world, you are healthy. And health is you following what it is that you want. So, ladies, we're going to I want to open up the table here for a second with you guys. I spoke my mind today. I'm so happy now. Kim, when I haven't spoken my mind, what it felt like was I was like eating my words, and I would play out the scenario in my head that was frustrating me. Maybe that person was either intimidating for me, or I was afraid of the relationship getting ruined, or none of this I knew in the moment, but I was just mulling over a situation that was frustrating, and I didn't have my voice as well. And because I didn't have my voice as well, I just didn't say anything. So imagine just stomping around in the living room, trying to figure out, just playing that scenario over in my head, trying to figure out where it was. Indigestion. See, the body will tell you what's going on. And rather than texting, picking up the phone, writing out what I want to say, releasing the emotions, anything to move myself towards unity in that relationship, because ultimately that's what I wanted, I went into the kitchen, rip open my bag of chips, eat half of the entire thing because I can do that, and feel bloated, feel the grease, feel the salt, over salted, over carbed, over that. And I'm just like, you know what? I think I just need to sleep this one off. And I would sleep, I'd wake up a little bit more rested, but guess what was still there? Same problem, I hadn't solved it yet. You'd be amazed at how our body deals with stress, and it's not because it can't. It can. But what it does is it doesn't allow us to get what it is that we ultimately want. Jaw gets tight, I'm telling you. It's like, this is where I start having my dreams where my teeth are falling out and I'm like, wake up and my neck is all stiff, and then I have a migraine and a headache. What happens when we don't recognize our body as our friend is this. This is why I teach you are not your body. It's because a lot of us deal with consistent physical ailments. Some people have constant migraines, constant headaches. Some people deal with TMJ. I used to have chronic tight shoulders. I mean, it was uncomfortable to where I couldn't breathe. Some of us deal with massive gut issues, massive, circumstances that happen in our bowels and our digestion and our ability to be sensitive or allergic to different food types. It doesn't matter what it is. This is not true, but catch where I'm going. It does matter what it is, what you eat. But I've seen so many people, and this is even with my friends who work in clinics. They are registered nurses, dietitians, they do blood work, they do saliva tests, they do all of the testing. But they even recognize that a lot of the conditions that people are in are lifestyle based. If you could learn the pathway to how most people create diabetes in their body based on the foods they're consuming, we have to ask ourselves the question, well, why are we consuming those foods in the first place? Sugar cravings typically come from anxiety. Sugar feeds anxiety. When our brains are turning over, what happens is sugar is our body's finest currency. It's like the $1 bill in America. It's the currency that our body uses in order to produce energy for us to live. And when we know that, and we used to study in school and I'm stressed out studying, what am I eating? I'm not eating beef. I'm finding the cupcakes, I'm finding the anything that's carbohydrate dense, especially refined sugar. That's not me. That's how my body functions. Our body functions this way. It needs to seek out carbs because it doesn't know that I'm safe in my room studying for a test. It thinks that I'm running from a saber-toothed tiger. And so it loves me so much. It's saying, hey, Sammy, go ahead, bring in the sugar. You need it. Things are going haywire down here. Bring the sugar. And so I'm like, if I didn't know that physiology mechanism, it's a beautifully designed technology in your body, I would say, man, I have no self-control. But it's not that I can't just not control myself. I could. But if I do, I feel intense feelings of pain and suffering. The question is, where is that intense pain and suffering coming from? Hey, Natasha, where is that coming from? Why is that in my life? What do I have positioned in my lifestyle that has me in this place? These are better questions for people and women who are as powerful as you are? Why is the craving even there in the first place? Why are my joints inflamed? What's the inflammation cause? My body is inflamed to protect me. Your inflammation that happens after you eat, you wake up in the morning in your joints, it is an inflammatory response because your body cares enough to try to make sure that it shuns your entire immune system to that area to balance and even everything out. Kirkette, what's up? Or Cricket, how's it going, girl? I'm so happy to see you here. We're talking about the power that your body functions the way everybody does. It has mechanisms inside. But what we want to look at is not just those mechanisms. We want to respect those mechanisms and say, oh, I didn't know it worked like that. When you know how your body works, what happens is you give respect to that. And you say, it's not my body. But if we say it's not our body, we have to make a harder claim. We have to say it's me and something that I'm focusing on. There's something in my life that needs to change. And ladies, when I say it's me, it's not that you are innately wrong. It's not that you're bad. But there's an alignment that needs to be shifted so that you don't have that stress response. What this is asking for is that you find the things that make you happy. For me, it was my calendar, ladies, was so booked out because I didn't have the security in myself to feel confident that a little was enough. I believed that I needed to be big, bold, loud, more. But I didn't know my world. And my world is one person at a time. It's quality relationships. It's actually less is more. I was trying to be someone else, and in that being of someone else, I lost my way, and it created an anxiety for me. I didn't know what I wanted. And now that I do, cravings are damn near gone. I have moments from time to time when I'm really stretching into a new territory, really leaving my comfort zone. But it's not a lifestyle. It's just a bump in the road. And ladies, when it comes to anything you desire for your physique, for your health, for the habits of your health, for the way you feel in your body, the conditions you're experiencing, when you know you are not your body is just a representation of some of the things that are going on in your mind. You get to see how it just directly correlates to habits. And all of these habits changes are the things you'll Google on the internet, like how to lose weight, how to increase my metabolism. They'll tell you answers like go for a run, change your diet, do all of these things. Those are the natural innate answers that you already have within. But the way you not only make that choice to step into those actions it's that you step into those actions, but with your character. You come at it from the, I don't want this anymore in my life. I want this in my life. I'm going to align to what it is that I want and feel that my sleep and my rest gets better because I'm no longer overbooked in my schedule. I've reduced stress. Therefore, my body rests more, which means when I wake up in the morning, I have more energy to give. When I have more energy to give, I have more energy to give to my world. When my world gets better, I'm able to show up better for other people. When I'm better to show up for other people, I feel so inspired by myself, I want to figure out how much more I can do. This is health. And when you're not distracted by what you don't want, and you know, and you're aiming towards what you do want, there's no room for binge eating. There's no room for drinking too much, unless it's a celebration. There's no room for disease, not as much. It gets to reduce. And you'd be amazed, high cholesterol, diabetes, coronary disease, inflammation, gut dyssymbiosis, all different types of conditions that most people deal with. There's rare conditions, but most people deal with, I would go as far as to even saying cancer. I've seen it, and I've seen it in the science as well. These types of things actually become reversible, but it's not magic. It's not magic. I could walk you cellularly through each disease and talk to you about how when you upgrade this, when you rest more, when you feed your body the nutrients, when you move your body, how it changes your heart, your lungs, your brain, your skin cells, your muscle cells. We could talk about the details and the pathways. It works. But the only frame, you don't need to know all that. The only frame that should matter to you is that my body loves me. I love my body. My body is my friend. Even in the biggest pains that it's creating, my joints are stiff because it's inflamed, but the inflammation is supposed to be a result of helping my body. It hurts me, but it's trying to do its best at the cellular level. When you understand that your body is your friend, you get to release your body from being the criminal in your life. And you get the privilege of asking yourself the question, what can I do? What can I do to support my body? What can I do to support my body? Ladies, the answer to that question, guess what? It's in your world. What's next for you? What season are you stepping into? What's next for you? I want to ask you guys from the standpoint of health. We use the example of health and body. But as we started talking about at the beginning, Cricket and Natasha at the beginning, we talked a lot about our leadership, our desires, and how when we follow what it is that we want, that's ultimately what health is. Ladies, all of this is true, and we just talked about physical health. This is true in occupational health, financial health, social health, mental health, emotional health. When you know what you want, and you go towards that. When you know what you want and you go towards that, that is the healthiest you are ever going to be. And health begets health. When I'm sitting and kicking it up with Natasha and we're laughing and we're having a good time, my body is not releasing the stress hormone. I'm able to digest better. I'm able to pass my bowels better. I'm able to feel the chemicals of joy, my dopamine release. It starts to spark some creativity and some desire, some inspiration. It brings more life to my light. And I blame Natasha and I say, girl, every time I'm with you, things get better. It's because the joy we create together creates health in my body. And the workout I had just before, my muscles get healed. They get rebuilt so that by the time I get to the gym, because I had so much joy, I was able to go into the gym and carry that in and lift more because my body was recovered. It all interweaves together. My social health improves my physical health, and my physical health improves my mental health, and my mental health allows me to have better occupational health, which allows me to have better financial health, which then, before I know it, I'm healthy across the board. But it's because I took ownership and responsibility that my only desire is to make sure I'm creating health everywhere I go. What is health? It's my ability to know what it is that I want and say yes to what I want and no to the things that I don't want. Existing in my power. Power is what do you want versus what don't you want. Only choosing what you want. Only choosing what you want. Not from an ego place, but from you know better place. This is healthy for me. This relationship is good for me. This purchase is good for me. It makes me feel better. And when I feel better, I am better. And when I am better, I get to service more. Ladies, health and leadership, that's what this looks like. The only way you're going to care about any of this is you have your identity and you know it. You know who you are, you value, you get why you being in this world matters. And when you know your identity, you partner your health, your care about your power. You start standing up in a different way. You stand tall. And people try to push you over and you're like, what are you doing? No, thank you. I don't want that. I don't want to go there. No, thank you. I don't want to have that conversation. Or I don't talk like that. No, thank you. I don't want to eat that. Right now I'm focused on this. What I want for myself right now is this. I'm going to start working out like this. This is where I'm going to go. I'm going to go travel here. I'm going to go spend my money in this way. I'm going to save my money like this. I'm going to decorate my house this way. Yep, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want. It's because I want what I want. And when I want what I want, I know it's healthy. It's not taking away from anybody. It's only given to me. And then when I give to myself, what happens is I get to give to you when it's viable for all of us. Health begets health. Health makes you a very, very powerful leader. You're not fazed by other people's unhealthiness. You let them be unhealthy because it's their path to walk. But when you know yourself, you become compassionate and understanding for other people's journeys because you took your own. When you find yourself, you understand that other people have more than enough capacity to get there for themselves. So you don't take ownership over other people's worlds. You continue to recognize that what your world offers is a unique gift. And if you just stay in your place, you stay in your lane, you know that as people experience you, it's going to be effortless to hand your gifts out like candy. And you're going to see people light up in their own way and go out and impact others with their gift. It's a health begets health begets health begets health. It leads to every single aspect of what it is that you want. You following what you want is everything. But if you have a weird, funky relationship with your body, which most of us have, whether it's an eating disorder, it's a disease, it's just you don't like to look in the mirror, all of that is a starting place. It's a starting place. All of that is a result from you just didn't know yourself yet. You didn't know how awesome you are yet. But when you know your world, you start to care, and you might look at yourself and be like, it's not that bad, but I know how to take control over this. And I do that by leading myself towards what it is that I want. My clients have lost 30 pounds in 3 months. I've seen my clients reverse their diabetes. I've seen people have a relationship, they finally win that relationship battle with food. It is like their favorite thing, and they're just, it's easy. It's easy for them because there's no pressure. People are running marathons. I've seen people starting to get into lifting weights. People find passion in yoga. I've seen people finally go to sleep, overcome their insomnia, and all of this has resulted in higher performance at work, deeper relationships, getting married, finding their loved one, patience with their kids, teaching their kids new things, having more fun, traveling more. I've seen it all. I've seen it all at this point. And what's so powerful is all of those things that you want, they're right at your fingertips. It's just a matter of coordinating who you are and your ability to let yourself have what it is that you want. I want to see you walk around so differently, but release the negative relationship with your body and have all things that have to do with it. Your body is just a feedback tool. It's just telling you where you're at today. It doesn't need to hold negative stories. It just gets to say, all right, this is where I've been. This is where I'm at. All right, what do I want now? Now that I know this, what do I want now? Ladies, you're going to build such a powerful and healthy lifestyle. Oh, joy is the word for 2024, girl. Joy will take you far, and I used to hate hearing that because it's far too easy. So hard for me to access joy because joy just felt like, joy just felt like too easy of an answer. But hard is unhealthy. So if something's hard in your life, not challenging, but hard, and it just stays hard, you want to look and see, what is it that you want instead here? Flip that, chase that, go get it. Whatever you're holding on to, whether it's weight or pain, you'd be surprised how it just almost seems like it disappears. Okay? Sheesh. Sheesh. Natasha, same new waves, ladies. This is what we're after. Yes, yay. I'm so happy. Our purpose. Guys, this is the culmination of where health and leadership meet. Okay? Now, next week, we are going to talk about one more thing, and I want to talk to you about how health is a teacher. Being a teacher is something that I talk about when it comes to relationships. People that seem challenging to you are in your life to teach you something. And this is the healthiest way I've been able to view relationships. So if you know relationships quadrants is the relationship quadrant is something you're wanting to adapt, find more health in, and ultimately create more support for yourself in that. Looking at the themes of people being teachers is it's so amazing. And your loved ones, your best friends, your spouse, they're meant to be teachers. Like your really good long-term people in your life, your sisters, your brother, those people can be your teachers. You can have seasons with people you love that are your teachers. If you feel friction, something's trying to be taught to you spiritually. And so if you look at everything as being a teacher, everything gets to be a teacher for you. Health can teach you a lot. The way I use health now for my leadership clients is we look to see what it is that they're wanting to develop in their business, in their style of teaching, and the way that they lead and the way that they run their lives. And we look to see a parallel between the fitness that's calling them and how it's supposed to help improve the way they do business. And so we're going to talk about how health can be a teacher. We're going to talk about how food and nutrition can be a teacher. We're going to talk about how sleep and rest can be a teacher. If you struggle with any of these things, there's something trying to be taught to you. And so we're going to have a master class at the end of the year, the end of the month, about all of the parallels. I want to show you guys all the parallels that I've seen with those different aspects and how they can teach you depending on which tool you want to pick up and learn from in this season. So next week, we're going to talk about this idea of health being a teacher. And then the week after, we're going to hold a master class that kind of has a lame name right now. We'll see if I'll keep it, but I'm calling it the Parallel Showcase. It's to really see the parallels and everything, and I want to showcase that to you. So that was the first idea that came to my mind. So we'll see if it stays that way. But for right now, it's the Parallel Showcase. And so I'm going to showcase to you. This was a mind-bending realization I had. And every time I say it to people, they're like, oh, I didn't see it like that. And I'm like, this is where I don't want health to ever feel like an obligation to you. I don't want you to be like, oh, I gotta run 3 days this week. Like it should feel like, ooh, I need to carve this thing out. Here's my knife. Oh, wait, I need a scalpel. Wait, no, I need a paintbrush. It's like, what are you trying to create in your life right now? Let's figure out what tool, what aspect of fitness, what aspect of food, what can we pull out for you to look at and use to wield your character and allow you to emerge more into who it is that you want to be. So we're going to talk about that over the next couple of days. And then in February, ladies, I'm going to announce this now. What my plan was to move from presence. So you guys know if you don't know, there's 3 pillars of leadership. We have your presence, your visibility, and then your impact. What we want is that you have such an aura, such a strong presence, a strong sense of self that your aura speaks for you, that then you become visible and you're able to communicate yourself, your message, your purpose, what you stand for. You're able to communicate that, but you're able to also do it consistently everywhere. Whether it's to a stranger that you're walking your dogs by and you just strike up a conversation, or you're able to move into social media, and you feel weird about, you shrink whenever you get to social media, but you're big everywhere else. If you have an issue in being steadily who you are everywhere you go, this is now a time to upgrade your pillar of visibility. And then impact is when you speak, when you talk to those people, when people ask you who you are and what's your story, you're able to create impact and a transformation, whether it's in a program or even just a conversation with someone. You create transformation by knowing your process. And if you know that this is something you love doing, you want to create a system out of what is successful for you. So this is great for tiny ways of you defining how you want to interact with people and create impact through that. Or if you want to scale this as big as a business, what is your process? How is it that you create impact? And then how is it that you can create systems based off of how you've been successful so you can essentially automate yourself? So we're going to be talking about all of this here free inside of the Facebook group. And next month, I had it planned, like we're going to do impact or presence, which is identity and health, and then move into visibility. But I feel like we need more time around presence. I want to talk about visibility, but I feel like we need more time around presence. I want to really drill in the themes of world building, building your world. I want to see you guys build your world. I want to see you share stories about how you feel like you're walking differently. I want to see that you guys are walking in a way where your aura is bright, right? And you can feel that it's bright. It's not just other people telling you that you're great. You know that you're great. And then what I also want to see more of is that you guys are engaging more in health practices. And so what we're going to be doing is this entire quarter, we're going to stay here. We're going to stay in the realm of presence. We're going to continue to talk more about identity. We're going to still harp on health. But in February and March, what we're going to do is we're going to do more question-based conversations. So what I'm doing right now is I'm teaching my concepts. I'm sharing those with you guys. I'm hoping that you're feeling something from them. I'm guessing you guys are because you're here with me the whole time. But I want to get a feel for where you guys are at so we can look at how this practically applies. We had a huge influx, about 40 new people here inside of the Facebook group, which I'm so honored to watch. And everybody answered the Q&A questions to be able to get into the group. And what I saw is that the two questions were, what's the thing you're struggling with in your health, and what is it that you're trying to improve in your leadership? And you guys answered that. Almost everybody in here has answered those questions. And I was like, I think we need to take a little time and talk about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the group a section where I'm going to create a Q&A, and any question you guys have about your personal experience, whether it's this is what you're trying to achieve, but you feel like you're hitting a roadblock, or you're wondering how I see blah, 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 blah perspective. I want help with this, or I have a question on this. I want to get your questions answered because I think it's so powerful to be able to talk about a concept. But when you can't see it practically applied, it can lose itself sometimes. So I want to connect us and unite us in a way where we can see the same concepts played out in questions. And we're going to spend this quarter here focusing on that through February and March. After that, I will feel very confident about us moving into visibility. We're going to talk about how to speak your message, how to function and what you stand for, and walk with that, share that, speak that. And then we'll talk about what it looks like to be consistent everywhere you go, whether it's, again, interacting with strangers, or you're trying to be consistent online and you want to see your presence grow and your brand grow everywhere. So we're going to talk about everything, but I want to see us being very, very strong in our presence first. You're so welcome, Kim. This is Thursday's my favorite day of the week. So for those of you guys who are curious, stick around. We come live every Thursday. I believe next week I'm going to have to move our call about an hour earlier. So I'll make that change in the event section because I have something that popped up. But I'll be here every single Thursday, even if we have to do an 8 p.m. live, we will be here. but I just want to make sure that we're all moving very powerfully together. So the last thing I'll say for those of you guys who haven't done it yet, 3 days of world building is the identity practical piece. This is where you go in, you build your world, you have a solid feel for who you are, but it's in such an unconventional way. What you're going to walk away with is a sense that you have a world. You have a world that you're able to walk in, learn about yourself in, and operate from, almost like a manifesto. It's this surreal place that feels more like you than your own home. And the idea is that when you know your world and you can live in your world, you start to build that world outside of you. And it's something that you can create here on this earth. So for example, my world has a lot of greenery. It's a little bit jungly. It's a little bit, I don't want to explain it all, but, and so one of the things in my house is if you go through my home, it's very similar to the world that I see inside of my mind. And so it's a very playful, very childlike activity. Everybody who's done it feels like they have something to return to. You can make your branding off of it. You can create marketing from it. You can start to find relationships that hold up the standard that you believe relationships are meant to be, but ultimately you learn what it is that your value is for the world, and you recognize this is what people come to me for. I don't go to them, but they come to me, and when they do, I'm ready for them. I can receive them. So it helps conserve energy for those of you guys who know that you've been burnt out running around living a hustle and bustle life and you want to find something else. So it's a great framework to build from, and this is so eye-opening, Yolanda. So guys, if you know anybody who would love to play with us here inside of the group, it's a free group, just come bring them in. Let's all hang out together. My dream is to see thousands of women in here, which is kind of crazy to say. So let's just go for 100 more for now. I would love to see so many more women in here, especially the people that matter to you, because I think that it's really cool when we get to all grow together. So if you know anybody that you think would feel value from this, please invite them. And if this is your first time of watching any of the videos, or you haven't seen all the past videos, go into the guide section, and I have all of our videos sequenced in order from how we talk about this from start to now. We've got months, ladies, I have months worth of material to share with you, and we just extended it by adding these extra 2 months. So we're probably going to go through the whole year of new stuff that I haven't shared already. So there's a lot. But my goal is that you guys are watching and interacting and absorbing it all. And then what I'm going to be doing soon is providing other opportunities where if you want to go deeper, if you want to have coaching, if you want a fitness plan, you want to have an exercise nutrition plan, I've got all of that accessible. I'm just building it on the back end in a way that I feel really good about, so that you can have a playground to start to shape and sculpt and heal your body and learn the different things that health has to teach you. So we've got a lot coming, and I'm so happy that you guys are here. So thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for paying attention and sharing all of your love, your perspective, what it is that you're navigating. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And if you want to have access to the 3 days of world building, I'm going to comment the link down here, and you guys can just jump in. Like I said, it's a free event. It's going to stay open through Monday. After Monday morning, it's going to go away, and then I'm going to bring it back around again probably sometime in March. So I would love that. Yes, dancing man. Love you guys. Ada, you're here. Hi. I missed you in the comments. So yes. All right, ladies, I love you guys. I wish you the best weekend. And like I said, if you have any questions or anything you want to share, please share inside of the Facebook group, and I'll drop the Q&A section here in the next little while. All right, Eleanor, what's up? You're so welcome, my friend. I love you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.